It wasn't supposed to be like this. This was the city of homes, a boom town, a place where anyone who wanted a middle-class life could find one. Today, it's none of those things.
You know it got worse, the mill's gone.
In 2017, a pair of economists coined the term deaths of despair to describe a surge in drug and gun deaths among healthy people. Between 2010 and 2019, there were 53,632 of them in Ohio. We visited Youngstown, one of Ohio's most notorious cities, to understand what's driving this and what it looks like. Last year, Youngstown and its surrounding county recorded nearly double the national average rate of overdose deaths, 53% more suicides, 6 times the average murder rate, and nearly double the national poverty rate.
How did drugs become such a problem here?
It seemed to grow after the mills shut down. Nobody had no jobs. Come home from the service. I expected to get a job at the mill and it was closed. So I had to do roofing and drive a cab. I had to do whatever it took to support myself. If it took robbing you, that's what I did.
70 years ago, Youngstown was a great place to live. It was the headquarters of 2 of the United States' 5 largest steel companies, Republic Steel and Youngstown Sheet and Tube. Then competition, greed, and bad decisions ruined the city.
I guess what I'm wondering is, with the mill, a lot of those jobs left a couple decades ago. And when you talk to people here at the government, they're always saying...
Because greed, right? Ain't that where our mills went? Out of the country? Greed. Stop. It's not Republican. It's not Democrat. It's not independent. It's greed, corporate greed. And you got the right man in office. If you want to make some money, you got the right one, because he don't give a f.
Is anything coming in place with the mills?
I don't know.
Real quickly, our mission here is to capture the world as it is without bias or fear. If you're enjoying this video and don't trust Legacy News to show you the truth about the country, please subscribe. By the 1970s, American steel companies were losing to German, Japanese, and South Korean ones. This was reinforced by U.S. policies, a strong dollar, regulation, and low tariffs that encouraged imports. American companies chose to take home the money they were making as profit rather than invest it. Meanwhile, unions demanded pay and benefits that made their workers less competitive. The result was Black Monday.
Monday, September 19th, 1977, began in the Boardman offices of Youngstown Sheet and Tube with the announcement that the company's Camel Works, one of the Youngstown district's largest steel mills, would be shut down by Friday.
5,000 people lost their jobs immediately. This was the tip of the iceberg. Plant after plant would close in the following years, costing Youngstown 40,000 manufacturing jobs, hundreds of supporting businesses, and most of its tax base.
There ain't many jobs around here.
Do you want to live in Youngstown when you're older?
No.
Hell, no, absolutely not.
No, not at all.
When you say you know what Youngstown's about, what would you say it's about?
It's a small city. Poverty.
Has poverty gotten worse? Your life? Are you from
What
here?
you think the mill's gone? What you think?
By 1990, the city's population had fallen 40%, and the despair set in.
You think it's getting worse? The mill's gone. Come on,
No,
man.
I'm saying that happened, what,
You
30
know it got worse, the mill's gone. Come on, PA, it happens all over. I'm just gonna patronize me, bro. You know what the f going on. You want to hear from somebody from Youngstown. Well, it won't be me.
And all that was just the beginning. Now, this happened to a lot of Rust Belt cities. So why was Youngstown unique? Because unlike Pittsburgh, Cleveland, or even Detroit, Youngstown didn't diversify. All the jobs were steel. Without that, drugs and violence took over.
It's a group of 5 people that's from here.
The city is.
3 out of them 5 people done been shot.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
And now
7 times.
you've been shot
7 different occasions. Yeah.
Not no sex.
Oh.
It's like it's an invisible fence around this.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna know how it is somewhere else if you ain't gonna leave or try.
Right.
Or what's here ain't working for nobody.
Well, it's hard to leave. Murders. You'll just see it from even last year, even this year. There's been a lot of killing, a lot of murder. Even some family members of ours.
Random violence at all, or is it more people involved in the streets?
More in the streets. I don't think it's random.
It's more so about money, man. People hurting and people want money. And you know, they see it and they go get it.
What about drugs? We read that drugs are a big problem here.
Drugs are a big problem everywhere. Drugs are a problem everywhere. Y'all ain't too good as y'all gonna get better, but y'all, you know what I'm saying? Don't say, bro, drugs are a problem here. Drugs are a problem everywhere.
Do you think it's different here at all, or no?
If you taking fentanyl in Youngstown or you taking fentanyl in Canfield, what's the difference?
Nothing.
Thank you, man. I'm just saying, you gotta have a realistic view, bro.
Yet the scale of Youngstown's drug problem is undeniably worse than elsewhere. The county's overdose death rate, 63 per 100,000 people, is nearly twice the national average and 50% higher than Ohio's as a whole. Of 3,136 American counties, Youngstown's ranks 139th for overdose death rates. A Youngstown EMT dispatcher shared his thoughts.
I think it's just location. We're so close to, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 680 goes to 80, which takes you to, towards New York, stuff like that. So it's a pipeline.
Now, this issue began in the 2000s when pharmaceutical companies, consultancies like McKinsey, and pharmacies downplayed the risk of opioid addiction and sought to distribute as many pills as possible. By 2012, Ohio had 68 opioid prescriptions per 100 people. In Youngstown, the figure was above 80. Drugs came flooding in.
I got burnt. I was in a fire.
They prescribed you pain pills in third grade.
They prescribed me Vicodin, the cough is the big Vicodin pills. I'll never forget it. I was in the third grade. The lady at the window at the CVS said, "Do you want generic or the real ones?" I want the real deal. I don't even know what's happening. I'm in school itching, nodding, third grade, gone. And from then on, it was just bad. Then they cut you off the pills. You like, what's wrong with me? So you out here. Same shit.
So what do people, when they cut you out the pills, then what you do?
Shit. Buy pills off the streets.
Fentanyl has since taken over. And while the companies have been forced to commit billions of dollars to treat affected communities, not even the millions coming to Youngstown can fix what has been lost.
So we've run, I would probably say on average, between 5 to 10 overdoses a day, which is a lot. I mean, fentanyl obviously, but a lot of it is like things are laced.
One thing we learned here in Youngstown is that drugs are a big problem.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems around here is the drugs. And they're all killing each other.
And with the drugs came violence.
Describe Youngstown for someone who's never been there.
Ghetto as hell.
Violent, but good when you're looking for fun.
Generational beefs from three generations.
Have you ever been like,
wait, you got generational beef here?
Yeah, you could be born into it. My family, you did something but just the fact that I never got to meet my father, and I know who supposedly did this to my father, I'm living with that. I ain't get to meet my father because of you.
So you got to go out and do something about it.
You don't have to, but the way this is, if you don't, then you shunned upon.
And with violence came poverty.
People I don't got nowhere to live problem.
Not a drug.
And they don't rebuild the houses either. Like,
they just tear them down.
Yeah.
So this street used to have a bunch of houses.
Every Stone Street was full.
Yeah, even though
My grandma had one of the biggest houses on the north side. Guess what? That house gone.
To cope with it,
like it never was there. But she had a big ass pine tree.
Yeah,
my grandma worked it for GE.
And then depression.
And I had a gun in my mouth getting ready to pull the trigger and the phone rang. When your phone rings, pick it up. It could be God calling you. It was him.
It was your friend or God?
My friend.
Your friend.
Yeah.
And then you got sober after that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. What's your message for hope for Youngstown? Is there a positive path forward? What do you think it is?
I look at one every day. I don't see one.
That man is not alone. In less than 1 month this fall, Youngstown County recorded 36 suicide deaths, more than in the entire first half of 2023. Across the U.S., the suicide rate is around 14 per 100,000 people. In Youngstown, it's nearly double that. Reinforcing the city's plight was its beautiful architecture, mansions, and parks, a sign of what Youngstown used to be. Driving down Youngstown's 5th Avenue, you pass mansions from the early 1900s with English, Spanish, and Italian architecture, a sign of the ambition the city had a century ago. Some of these houses remain beautiful, while others have fallen into disrepair. By 2020, Youngstown's population had declined from 170,000 to below 70,000.
Do you want to live in Youngstown when you're older?
No, absolutely not. No, not at all.
Youngstown thus became known as a city of despair, but not to everyone.
I love Youngstown.
They started revamping downtown, more safe for people to go down.
How is it here in Youngstown?
it's hard, but you can make it.
Youngstown State University continues to attract students,
Coming to be more of like a college area.
while immigrants still see opportunity in the city.
You see that? This is in the brick. You see that?
Omar, can I ask why, when you came from Jordan, why did you come to Youngstown?
Oh, I coming before this visit. It's my brother here. He go to YCU here. He finished and he go to Pittsburgh, finish the master.
¿De dónde es?
De Puerto Rico.
When did you move here?
8 years.
¿Cómo está?
Todo bien, gracias a Dios. Para no tener familia alrededor ni house. Gracias a Dios, estoy bien. It's good.
But I think Puerto Ricans, because they have the capital, best money as the people who actually doing good.
Others say it's people who are causing the problems, and you can't blame the city.
Most people have drug problems because they put it on themselves. I probably could have had one too. I love candy, so that's a drug.
After visiting a place like Youngstown, you wonder who to blame. Governments for failing to stop the decline? Drug companies for making a bad situation vastly worse? Steel companies for layoffs? Or was it all just inevitable? The answer won't bring back Youngstown's glory days, but it could save the next city from becoming one of despair. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it. The rest of our Rust Belt series will go to Cleveland, Gary, Indiana, Chicago, Detroit, and Flint, Michigan.